Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope everybody is having a great and wonderful day. Sorry for the only one video yesterday. The only reason why I was only able to make one video, I was going to make more, but unfortunately a family matter came up, and I had to deal with that and all the crap that was with it. So there is with that. But I will be back to making at least 3 videos today, and maybe more. Don't know, because it depends on how long this takes. Alright, so without further ado, we have some more crazy stuff going on. Now, see, oh god. So, there is something that is going on here that is making me a little bit concerned, a little bit more worried of what's to come here in 2024, and it's not great. What I see here is a danger, because I think it's just getting worse. With the whole Palestine stuff, and I think that it's not going great. Cops recover a suicide note after a deranged man drove car packed with explosive into crowd at Rochester concert, killing 2. A couple was killed and numerous other people injured just hours into the new year when a deranged man driving a car filled with explosives barreled into a crowd, leaving a rock concert in upstate New York, police said. Law enforcement sources initially reported that the crash was being investigated as possible domestic terrorism, but said Tuesday there was no terror link. The fire crash occurred at 12:50 a.m. outside the Kodak Center in Rochester, where roughly 1,000 people were filing out after a New Year's Eve show by the rock band Mo. Rochester officers were helping pedestrians cross the street with Michael Avery, a suspected bipolar man from Syracuse. Spanish rendered for exhibition toward the crowd and smashed into an Uber pulling out of a nearby parking lot, law enforcement sources said. The force of the collision caused the 2 vehicles to go through a group of pedestrians that were in the crosswalk, and then 2 other vehicles, police David Smith said at a press conference. The car exploded into an intense blaze that took the fire department nearly an hour to extinguish. A couple riding in the Uber were killed, while their driver was rushed to the hospital in a non-life-threatening condition, sources in the police said. Avery was transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. He died of his injuries around 8 p.m. Monday, law enforcement sources told the Post. After the fire was extinguished, investigators found at least a dozen gasoline canisters scattered across the pavement and the west side of the expedition accord, according to Smith. Avery, believed to have been an emotionally disturbed person, had rented a hotel room in Rochester where police conducted a search and recovered a suicide note and journal, according to law enforcement sources. Investigators are reviewing the journal for any clues into the attack, and have interviewed family members who said they believed the suspect had bipolar disorder, though he was never officially diagnosed, according to sources. The relatives say Avery had never expressed any negative beliefs and that they are unaware of any reason he would want to cause harm to others, sources said. Authorities are planning to conduct a search of a storage unit belonging to Avery in North Syracuse as well. The homicidal driver rented the extra-large SUV before heading to the concert venue, law enforcement sources told ABC News. Obviously, I would have been liking to stand at this podium to deliver Happy New Year and smile and say good news. But unfortunately today, we don't have good news because we have several individuals whose families' lives are changed because they would not be here to bring in 2024. Yep. So this is just stuff that is that happened throughout what happened on New Year, right? And as I said before, not everybody's year and everybody's Christmas is happy and glory. And 2024 is already spanning to be into a spiral of sadness and death, and I'm not quite sure what we're going to do. As we had the DOJ trying to go after Texas of, trying to put illegal migrants behind bars, and they're running through our border nonstop like it's not a problem and going through the fence. So, with that being said, it's crazy to me on what we have. The DOJ automatically being a dictatorship and weaponizing their power against another state for the DOJ not being allowed to, or not, honestly, it's not even not being allowed. Them just straight up just not going to prosecute or go after the illegal immigrants that are going through our country at an astonishing rate. And one state that's trying to prevent their own people from being overran by these illegals is now being attacked by our own government. And this is what I was talking about when this was that the Biden administration is a dictatorship. And the fact is that I'm not going to say that this man here, Michael Avery, or this person is part of, a terror attack, or if he's, a terror attack would be actually a correct term. Well, is part of any of the Palestinian people or whatever that was going on for a terror attack or what have you. I can't say that. However, I can say that it is not in the greatest of interest for people for what's to come and happening in 2024. And we even have an article here that saying 2024 will be feared, and it's not something that should be great, right? It's not something that should be happy. I mean, look at this. We have this here, so that the world should fear 2024. When asked in 2020 to envisage like other world COVID, Michael Husbeck proclaimed accurately enough that it will be the same, just a bit worse. It doesn't take a soothsayer to foresee that the same world will hold true for this coming year. The year 2023 saw the greatest global resurgence of armed conflict since 1945. 2024 will be worse. We are living, if not through a world war, then a world at war. The great post-globalization justly divide up the spoils of war, spoils of what was once America's unipolar imperium. This will be an epic, defining a period as the late 40s were for Britain and are not going to win for Russia. Yes, and I believe that 2024 should have some problems, right? That we should probably be wary of what's going on in our country, because obviously we are seeing the government go after innocent civilians, after the states that don't agree with them, anti-Semitism on a huge rise as the end of the year, and it's crazy, guys. It really is crazy on what's really going on in our country, going around the world. And a lot of this began with, of course, Biden. And this is something that could have been stopped if we had a more powerful president in our hands. And we do not. And so, therefore, we have a huge amount of problems. People may not want to take blame for all the things that are happening, but I digress. It's not great. Well, guys, that's it for the video. Let's go share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, 'cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.